Hello everyone, my name is Clementine and welcome back to Clementine Creative. I am back with another character design video. Before I start anything, I want to say sorry for not uploading a video on Friday. I actually went to the seaside and I ran out of time, practically ran out of time. I couldn't fit it in. I actually forgot. I just I got reminded on a Thursday that I'm going. It completely slipped my mind for some reason. But the video is now up, or at least you're watching it now when I'm talking. It's still not up, obviously. But it is Sunday. It's right now it's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And this video should be up in about 2 or 3 hours. So, when you're watching this, if you're watching the first hour when I put it on, it'll be kind of like you were here with me. But let's stop with all apologizing. You already get it. You know me. Sometimes I'm late with the videos, but you don't bitch about it, so we're good. So yeah, I really appreciate not putting on hating comments for not. A lot of people could actually post hate comments because I don't upload every Friday, which is my schedule, and I'm really glad that people don't do that. So thank you for that. Sometimes it happens that I just accidentally miss a deadline or something like that. But let's do a deadline of my own, by the way. Don't ever miss deadlines, like professional deadlines, alright? Those, not even I would miss those. Don't miss those. There's an advice. Never miss a deadline. Unless you made it on your own and it's not really that important. Although YouTube to me is very important, but let's just get into the design, alright? Just get into the character. So what do we have here? I first want to introduce you to a project. What am I doing now is actually a part of a bigger project that I like to call Project Egyptia. So it's something I came up with. A lot of designers take these personal projects just for funsies, but it's something where you can really improve a lot and it showcases your work. So it's kind of like a professional environment. And if you don't have a work, or if you're trying to create a portfolio, one of the better ways to get about doing that is actually doing these projects, because you're kind of making it look like it's an actual work environment, which is exactly what you want. Whenever a professional will want to review your work, they will very fast notice, if you're a student, that your work is student work. And the only way to get rid of that is to create project work. Project work is somewhere where you have a constant theme throughout, let's say, characters. So you create 4 different types of characters, but in those 4 types, you have another 4 characters, right? So 4 times 4, that's 16 characters, right? Let's say you create 16 characters for, like I said, a project. My project, Project Egyptia, is how I call it. Obviously not the most innovative name ever, but it's good enough, right? So I know it's about Egypt, that I wanted to get that point across, and it's not exactly Egypt, so it is a little bit different, Egyptia. And in my head, Egyptia is before Egypt, so Egyptia is was ruled by Egyptian gods and not by pharaohs, or I'm not sure how you pronounce that word in English. So if I'm getting it wrong, but the leaders of Egypt, pharaohs, okay? I don't know how you call them in English. So I'm sorry if I'm really failing at this. I actually haven't looked up the pronunciation of that. But anyways, so in Egyptia, the leaders of that country were actually, or that civilizations was actually the Egyptian gods. And I basically went to the internet and searched through most popular Egypt gods. I searched through a lot of Egypt resources, like not just their gods, but their jewelry, weapons. Sometimes some of the pictures are even animals. Just different things that would help me to basically get in the zone of designing something for, Egypt type game. I really like the result, and I'm really fried up about this. And remember, like I started saying it before. I'm not sure if I finished. A lot of artists take on these personal projects, and that way you discard yourself out as student work. Your work is not student work anymore, because student work is very recognizable. If you have a lot of guidelines, or has some sort of boxes, boxes in perspective and things like that, that's all student work, and that's something I did in high school as well. and that's something you want to lose. You don't want to show your employers that, because they will not hire you. They do not want to hire students. They will hire students, however, if they see a unbelievable sense of design, or just see the whole professionalism in you. So think about it. Just try to do stuff in projects, not just like one character. All right, so let's see what we got here. So what I'm basically doing here now is I am designing a god, and this god would be Ra. So Ra is the god of sun, born of sun, I think. I'm not even sure, honestly, but basically he's the son of God, and his powers of revolve around fire, sun, things like that. So he would definitely be one of the more stronger characters, definitely magic based. And I really think that this is the most interesting design I've done so far. And the reason why is because I actually took some illustrations from Egypt, the ones that they made on different papers or papyrus or on different walls and whatnot. So I took those illustrations. Those are usually illustrations that showcase a leader's life or a god's life or whatever, right? So, everyday things, sometimes even bigger events. I took those illustrations and I looked at some of the icons. So each and every figure, or each and every major figure in Egypt mythology, like all of the gods, have their own icon, something that represents them. Now, in Ra's case, his nose or his face is basically a falcon, and around his head, on all illustrations, there's a circle, a red circle, or a yellow circle. I'm sorry, that was really weird right now. Or a yellow circle. So there's basically a circle which represents the sun. And I took that because I really wanted to follow the whole idea of Egypt. So I really want to include the Egypt. I don't want to just say, oh, it's Egypt inspired, and the only thing that's Egypt inspired is let's say the bracelet, right, or the necklace. I wanted the entire character to be highly Egypt inspired, because a lot of people, or a lot of amateur designers, and don't get me wrong, being an amateur or saying amateur designer, I'm not trying to insult anyone. But amateur designers, what they tend to do is, and that's totally not fine, because I still do that, actually, I still do it, is they tend to do very anime-like designs. So something that is not very grounded, because anime sometimes doesn't have a very grounded design, which is fine, because it's an anime, and it looks badass, right? We all love it. I love it, and all the people who like anime like it. But in games, it's a little bit different. We have a different audience, and that audience usually has to be able to connect with something, relate. That's the word I was looking for. It has to be able to relate. So if it's something that they've never ever seen before, they will not buy it because they cannot relate to it. What is that? In this case, we take a very famous civilization and we turn it into something that could be entertainment. And that really turned out great in this case. I really am satisfied with at least this character. But I do have 3 more gods. So there's going to be 3 more gods. So there's going to be 1 female, which is a warrior type god. And then we have 2 more male. One is, and I'm sorry, I forgot the names. I really did. And I'm not sure, maybe I have them written somewhere here. No, I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't know their names. I'll be sure to write them down when I finish the concepts. But one of the gods is the god that sends people to the other world. So, the god that helps people pass through the underworld. And the next god is the god that is, god of knowledge and wisdom. And all these characters or all these gods are very different. So aside from being gods, they don't really have a lot of in common. So their abilities are completely different, which means that we'll have to take a completely different approach for each one of them. And that is really what I wanted, because I wanted to challenge myself. But yeah, so we have that. And then we're going to create 4... After that, we're going to create 4 enemy type characters. So 3 lower rank bosses, and then we have 1 final boss. So those are going to be the enemies. And then we have city peasants, or, the occupants of Egypt, which would be a skinny male, a skinny female, fat male, and fat female. So these are, of course, the fat male and female are going to be a little slightly richer. The skinny ones are going to be slightly poorer. Then we have slaves. We're going to have, we're going to also design slaves. We're going to design guards, and we're going to design 10 unique weapons, which is the last thing I will do. And that is a sort of a new series that I will try to start on my channel, where I actually design weapons and not characters at all. So we'll see how that'll work out. Now, the reason why I decided to do guards and slaves and city peasants is because those are side characters. Those are not the main characters that you usually would see in a story. Now, let's take, for instance, Assassin's Creed. Ezio, and let's take, Assassin's Creed, the one where Ezio is the main character. So, from Assassin's Creed 2 onward to Revelations, I think that's the last one where Ezio is in there. I'm not sure. So, Assassin's Creed Ezio is the main character, and all the assassins are the main characters, right? And all the larger enemies. But then there's NPCs, things like, villagers or guards, right? So these are the NPCs, but those are less important, but somebody still needs to design those. And it still falls into the job of a concept artist or a character concept artist to design those. So I want to, take on the theme of creating an NPC character. What are some of the important things? What do you want to be careful of? So we're going to take a look at that, because designing an NPC character is slightly different than designing a main character for a video game. An NPC character has to be a lot less attention seeking, so we mustn't, the people who play the game, if I'm a player, you have to make sure, the job of the designer is to make sure that the side character doesn't appeal more to us than a main character, right? We don't want that. We always want the main character to appeal to us, and the side characters just have to be there, right? They have to be more casual. Here I'm throwing in the arm now, the back view, and earlier you saw me change between a song on YouTube, and I think you saw some pyramids. So basically what I did, I just typed in some, I think I wrote in Egyptian music or something like that, and I got some Egyptian/Arabic music. Basically, there were soundtracks, not really music. There were soundtracks, so only music, no actual lyrics. Lyrics are very annoying when I draw. But anyways, I did that, and I got out some really wonderful soundtrack. I really loved that, and it really put me in the whole mood of creating an Egyptian type character. So whenever you're doing a certain design, make sure you throw yourself in that design environment. I try to surround myself with everything that has to do with what I do. So, for instance, on my right screen here, I have a bunch of Egyptian references. So bracelets, swords, weapons, even animals, and different things. So there's a lot of different Egyptian type things that surround me, and of course the strawberry on top of ice cream, or the cherry on top of ice cream, is basically listening to music. It really puts me through that design design process, because music can really inspire you to think differently. So if you have a sad music, there's a huge chance that you'll think of something sad, and the same it works with design. If you have some sort of Japanese meditation music, you're gonna start automatically think of temples or samurais. So that's the sort of thing you associate with that kind of music. So that's basically what I did. So yeah, basically this character is now coming together. Just here throwing in last couple of details. And this character was really fun to do, and I really like how it turned out. And I would really appreciate it, your feedback on what do you think about these characters, or I would really love to see your approach on some of the designs that I do. If you ever feel like creating the same design as me, let's say, Project Egyptia, I would be very happy to see some of your takes on the actual characters. So if you're interested in something like that, you can send me your stuff. I'd be really interested to see how you took on this mission of creating a Egyptian type character. But this video is slowly coming to an end. We have about a minute left of the recording. Hopefully this video was helpful. I don't really know what to really say anymore. When I started this YouTube channel, it was a lot easier because I didn't really say that much, or I didn't tell you that much. But now it's become quite hard to actually say something new. So hopefully I'm not boring you to death when you're watching these videos. So now I'm basically just throwing in this gray silhouette to help the character pop out a little bit. You know, this is all for presentation. If you have a good character, you also want to present it in a really nice manner. Just helps to sell the design. But this video is slowly coming to an end. All I have to do is this gray thing, color it, and that'll be it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. And you know, if you want any type of different kind of video, just comment in the comment section below. With that in mind, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Everything changes.
Now the right side became a girl. So, yeah, like I said, the right side or the grid on the right side could be used for female